And thanks for staying with us on your channel of choice, Africa Independent Television AIT. Welcome to the Signature Show. My name remains Mwabuz Njoko. Now, there will not be much time this Sunday to spare on reviewing the events of last week. So, we will only observe that these are not the best of times in Edo State, where the people go to the polls on September the 19th to elect their next governor. Now, ask any Edo person the issues in the election and what reasons will determine whom they vote for, and all you get is Adams Oshomole wants to convert Edo State into his father's estate, or Izeyamu has a case to answer over alleged involvement in a 700 million naira case of corruption. Now, what kind of economy is the APC or PDP promising? What kind of social security are the political parties proposing? What incentives are being proposed to attract investors and create jobs? What specific policies, sourcing of funds and prioritizing are the parties proposing for education, for health, rural infrastructure? Of course, these are not being made the issues. What the issue is I will deliver Edo State to the PDP or APC, or I will retire Oshomole from politics or show Basaki that I made him governor in 2016. God help our politics. You are watching the Signature Show on AIT. Next is a special report, which this Sunday focuses on the unraveling rush of corruption in Nigeria. Now, has President Muhammad Buhari failed to translate his anti-corruption posture into a fulfilled promise? And is there anything to gain from the gale of scandals rocking both the legislative and executive arms of government? That is the focus of our special story this Sunday. Please stay with us. And of course, don't forget to join us for Corruption Story, which this Sunday tells the sad story of the NDDC. Nigeria's corruption challenge is unraveling. Today in Nigeria, scandals on the involvement of strategic and high-profile institutions and individuals in acts of corruption are reported to a bewildered public. Nigerian citizens have become almost numbed by both the scope and audacity of the public officers exposed in these scandals. Some Nigerians are understandably screaming for justice, a demand for an open and transparent prosecution of those involved in these show of shame.
Some elements of shame should even be seen in their faces. But the courage with which they say all this thing shows to me that even if they do whatever they are doing, nothing is going to happen. But we are challenging government that they must do something about this thing, because the destiny of the people of the Niger Delta is what is at stake here. And I think that the earlier the government wakes up to put the right things in place and ensuring that people that are culpable are prosecuted.
First, it was the shock that the acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, may have come to equity with dirty hands, as he was grandstanding and loudly proclaiming the hunting down of corrupt public officers and seizing the proceeds of their ill-gotten wealth. He was allegedly re-looting the recovered loot. It was like making a murderer a hangman. The Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, will not have any of such situation that makes Magu a saint. He reported Magu's sins to President Muhammad Buhari in a damning memo.
15 bank accounts were restrained from Tafa Balogun from the defunct Fountain Trust Bank. EFCC calculated these 15 bank accounts, came up with a bit over 2 billion naira in its internal record. But you pick up your calculator, you calculate it's over 3 billion. Now, let's say it's inadvertence. Let's say it's a miscalculation. But it became a premeditated crime when EFCC transferred the funds from Spring Bank to EFCC's own Access Bank account. it was the same adulterated figure that they transferred. When I finished my Senate testimony, the following day, I received a phone call from Tafa Balogun. He said, whatever happened to the assets forfeited that the EFCC stole or whatever, hold Magu responsible.
As the panel set up by the president to probe the allegations against Ibrahim Magu came up with more corruption in the EFCC, Magu started singing, saying the minister Abubakar Malami himself also cornered some deals from the corruption fight to himself by selling some seized petroleum products and ships to some of his cronies.
There's the issue of this the endemic nature of corruption, which has eaten into the fabric of the nation. And then there's the issue of establishing and strengthening institutions of corruption. I mean, the institutions to fight corruption. Now, if we don't have this holistic approach, we can achieve some results in some areas. For instance, we can achieve some results in recording prosecutions and even convictions. But if we don't address the situations, the conditions that fuel corruption, I'm afraid that is where we're having a problem.
As some Nigerians interpreted the Magu scandal as a pointer to the failure of the anti-corruption promise of the Buhari administration, a fresh scandal far dirtier than the one in the EFCC surfaced. The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, a commission established to rectify the development injustice inflicted on the Niger Delta region, has been turned into an automated teller machine by public officials. Estranged acting managing director of NDDC, Joy Nunia, opened the can of worms, accusing the supervising minister of the Niger Delta Ministry, Godswill Akpabio, of being the corruption in chief.
Akpabio wrote me more than 20 letters, 30 letters. He wrote me letters for appeal for your intervention towards amicable settlement judgment. He wanted for us to pay for legal fees. NDDC here is not to pay legal fees to help people. He doesn't just understand that NDDC's money is not to be used to assist people. Now, I have this one for payment of water hyacinths.
That accusation raised issues of dirty sex scandal, running of public affairs on fetish compulsion, and dipping hands into the NDDC till with careless abandon. The free-for-all expenses that were happening in the NDDC, which shocked the Nigeria public, included the sum of 3.14 billion naira spent as COVID-19 palliatives on staff of the NDDC, 1.3 billion naira on community relations, 85.6 million naira for travels during the COVID-19 lockdown, 112.9 million naira on condolences, 23.8 million naira on consultancy, 2.6 billion naira on medicals, 790.9 million naira on interest, 1.9 billion naira on Lassa fever, 706 million naira as legal fees, and 1.121 billion naira on public communication. These monies were spent either between February and May 2020 during the COVID-19 lockdown, or since Godswill Akpabio assumed the supervision of the commission as Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. Some say, however, that Godswill Akpabio only exposed a rot which was becoming a culture in the commission. Reports of the sleaze in the NDDC forced a conscience-stricken National Assembly to begin a probe of the commission. A day before Nunia was to testify at the National Assembly, an attempt to detain Joy Nunia was only foiled by the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike.
It doesn't matter. Okay, very good news. What kind of society are we in? Can't you invite her to the police? That you come and all of you come. Can you point that to the people? I tell them to ask them for their arrest warrant. Yes. Arrest warrant.
At the House of Representatives probe, it came to light that beyond the financial bazaar by the management of the NDDC, the Commission was also carrying the burden of being forced into a money machine by the very legislators who were probing the NDDC. Godswill Akpabio, a former governor of Akwa Ibom State and former senator, hit back with bare knuckles.
Who are even the greatest beneficiaries? It's two people now. Okay. Because if you look at your chairman,
Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, that's okay. That's okay.
No, can I ask you that question? What is the benefit that the National Assembly is benefiting from?
It's okay, it's okay.
Are you asking me the benefit of National Assembly?
Yes, you just said.
I just told you that we have record to show that most of the contracts in NDDC are given out to members of National Assembly, but you don't know about it.
Honorable Minister, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Minister, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Please, off your mic. It's okay. It's okay.
Flowing from Akpabio's accusations, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila gave the minister 48 hours to produce the names of those legislators who have been getting contracts from the Commission. It is on record that the management of the NDDC had also accused the legislators of getting 132 project contracts worth over 6.4 billion naira, which they have not executed.
It is criminal to get a job and don't execute them. It is criminal to fraudulently incite a job that doesn't exist. It is criminal to get money for no work done. It is criminal to do inside training. Conflict of interest is in the laws. If they've seen such, simply document all and pass it to EFCC or ICPC.
On the surface, these revelations of monumental corruption even in strategic agencies of government could be identifiable evidence of the failure of the Buhari government to deliver on its promise of running corruption out of the nation's public affairs. That may be true.
But let them tell us, this one was arrested, wonderful. It made news, headlines and everything. What has happened to all of them? Mind you, I mentioned Waziri Lamode and Rubadu. Where then they? So this one too, make we know.
However, the more beneficial truth is that as the extent and depth of the grand corruption unravels, as members of the executive, the legislature, and even officials of the government institutions are being exposed as the architects of Nigeria's corruption misfortune, Nigerians whose nation's development is being compromised by these acts of corruption are asking questions and demanding strong and impartial action from the Buhari administration against those involved in these national shame. Well, thanks for staying with us on AIT. Southern Kaduna has, in the past 4 years, been turned into a killing field. Nigerians have almost stopped weeping for the people and now only count the numbers. What really is going on in Southern Kaduna? Have the people been abandoned? Or has the government, both at the federal and state levels, lost the desire and capacity to protect lives and property in that part of the country, that part of the state? Now, I spoke with Honorable Jonathan Asake, President, Southern Kaduna People's Union. That is our conversation for this Sunday. Please stay with us. SignatureTV.org, breaking the news, following the news, analyzing the news, 247 round the clock, all on the go. SignatureTV.org, news in your pocket. This Sunday, we'll address the developments happening in Southern Kaduna. And I have with me this afternoon Honorable Jonathan Asake. Honorable Asake is the President, Southern Kaduna People's Union. Honorable Sake, you're welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much.
What is the story of the killings in southern Kaduna?
Just to go back to memory lane, the first crisis we had was around 1981 in Kajuru local government, present Kajuru local government. It was then Kachia local government. And we called that place Kasua Magani. And it was as a result of dispute on land ownership between the indigents of the place, the Adara people, and the Hausa Fulani community of that place. And so that resulted into a clash. It was during the Shagari regime.
Now, just a minute.
Yes.
This indigents
Yes.
and the Hausa Fulani herders, are those Hausa Fulani herders not part of this Southern Kaduna People's Union?
No, they call them herders. We have the Fulani community.
Are they part of this union?
Yes.
They are?
Those that subscribe to the union are part of the union.
Okay.
Yes, because our union is multi-ethnic, multi-religious, and multicultural. So it is not about a particular religion. It is not about a particular ethnicity. It's not about a particular culture. And it's not even about political party. It is all inclusive. And so we have Christians, Muslim, traditional worshippers in the union. So those people of that community, yes, though they are part of the union.
Okay, just why I asked the question
Yes.
was when the crisis developed between the indigenous people and the Hausa Fulani herders. Are these Hausa Fulani herders not indigenous to that place?
Of course, you know that most of the settlements we have all over the country have their own history. There are people that would have migrated over time due to commercial activities and settled.
I understand.
Yes.
Some people do not own land there.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Can go on.
So that is what we
In
have.
1981.
1981. Then one other major, then we had some series of crises as a result of maybe chieftaincy, title, tussle, between the same two communities. That is the indigenous communities and the Hausa Fulani community. You know, in Yarkaswa, a place called Yarkaswa, in the then Saminaka local government, which is now Lere local government. Then we also had in 1987, in the College of Education, Kafanchan, where a preacher was preaching, and he was a former Muslim, and he quoted from the Quran. And the Muslim students' society there rejected that. Being a non-Muslim, he could not possibly quote from the Quran, but he was quoting to drive home a point. And that culminated into a crisis that escalated beyond Kafanchan Township into Kaduna and even beyond, into Zaria and other major towns in Kaduna State.
We can call that a kind of religious
It
intolerance.
was a kind of religious intolerance. These are crisis violence that we have had that are different from what we are experiencing today. What we are experiencing today, you know, started from around 2013 and up till date, where we have what we call killer herdsmen. They are kind of a militia of a group of people that go by night when people are sleeping, and they go on to invade communities and kill and maim and burn, destroy everything that is alive. And so since 2013, Southern Kaduna has not known peace. But these killings have stepped up, and they are more on a regular basis from 2015 up till date. In fact, as I'm sitting here, Gora Gan in Zango Katab local government is still under attack. I was just, when I was on my way to this place, I was told Boto still, Izango local government is under attack. The day before yesterday, Kaura local government, a group of young people between the ages of 7 to 21 were dancing in a compound because one of their pairs had gotten married. So they were just dancing. And these gunmen went in and gunned down as many as they could. They gunned down over 40. And today we have up to about 30 in the hospital. In fact, 22 critically injured between life and death. And of course, 18 or 19 died. This has been widely reported. Now, these are the stories every time of these invasions. But the most pathetic thing about this is this, that the narratives that we hear, that it is a farmers and a herders clash. We have had, I can go on and name these invasions, these killings, these massacres that have taken a genocidal proportion. And we keep hearing you in the media telling us that it is a farmers and a herders clash. Now, the farmers and herders clash that we knew before is when the herder has his cattle and he goes and
destroy the crops of a farmer.
And the farmer is there and he objects to it and he protests, and then they fight issues. And oftentimes, when they fight, they take it to the local chiefs and they settle that dispute. But this one that we call farmers herders clash is actually being economical with the truth. Because those people that go to kill, sometimes they go by 1 a.m. when everybody is sleeping, and they kill children, they kill women, pregnant women, they kill old people, and they kill animals, they destroy everything, they destroy farmlands, they destroy the food stores, and they leave people just like that, and they displace the people. And oftentimes when they displace the people, they take over the communities.
Okay, I'm interested in that.
Yes.
What do you mean by taking over the community? Do they now build their houses and settle there and begin to have an economy or something?
A lot of times they chase the indigenous people out into camps, into nearby communities, and then they come and take over physically. Sometimes they use the same buildings of those people they chased.
What do they do? Do they become herders? Do they become farmers? What do they do?
In fact, they will now bring in cattle, a lot of cattle, while they are herders, and they also go into farming. That is, they occupy the community.
Let me use one word. Do you think that this is land grabbing?
In fact, that is what I was about to say, that what we see that is playing out in communities across the southern part of Kaduna State, which we also know that is taking place all over the Middle Belt areas, because Plateau State is just bordering us, and that it is actually about land occupation. Now, while the invaders invade communities and take over those communities and chase the people out, there has been no effort by the authorities.
No, Honorable Jonathan, I do not want us to start blaming yet. I'm coming to that. If we know communities that have been so displaced, if we know communities where these invaders have taken over, it means the invaders are recognizable.
They are.
Okay. Have your people, has your organization made a formal complaint to the police, to the local government authority, to say this community has been chased away and the occupants now are not the owners of the homes because they are identifiable?
In fact, severally, the Southern Kaduna People's Union, the various community development associations representing the communities that have been so invaded and chased and displaced, have made submissions at various levels, even to the international community. Sokapo has gone even to the international community to make presentations before the United Nations. And up till now, because what we see is that there has been cover-ups on the atrocities that are going on. And so that is what we have.
The responsibility of government is to secure lives and property of the individual. It's not likely, I'm just saying, that if your union has made a complaint to the police and the police did not act, that it should also have failed to make a complaint to the Kaduna State government. Have you done that?
No, it is not the police. The police always act when something has happened. They go there. But to the government, of course, severally, before I came in. But my predecessor, on the day of handing over, he lamented, and it was widely reported in this day and other media organizations, that they had sought to meet with the governor, and he outrightly said he was not interested in meeting the union. In fact, he referred to the Southern Kaduna People's Union as a group of bigots. And it has been viral all over because Channel Television reported that. And so we know his position about the people of Southern Kaduna, that he sees us as people that do not deserve attention, that do not deserve to be given the resources that are coming from the federal government. And so when these invasions are coming on, and I can count, like I told you, the invasion that took place in Chukun local government, there have been several invasions in the next local government bordering with Chukun local government. That is Kajuru local government. If you remember the paramount ruler that was kidnapped, when huge ransoms were paid, and he was killed after paying ransom, up till date, that ruler, 2 years gone by, with the people pleading, we need a leader. No new chief has been appointed. But instead, what those people have had is that the governor has created an emirate in a community, a local government, because that chiefdom consists of an ethnic nationality that spans 2 local governments, Kachia local government and Kajuru local government. And within that, an emirate is an Islamic traditional enclave. So if you are not a Muslim, you cannot have any land entitlement or any other claims to that throne.
Now let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. Does this emirate or this emir superintending over this emirate have authority, therefore, over the land?
That is what I'm trying to say. Now the emir has been appointed. No chief for the natives has been appointed 2 years after the killing of the chief. But an emir has been appointed. And so the issue of land now becomes, that is again where we see that government, while the invaders are using force to take over land, government is using government policy to take over, to grab land. And what is the intent? We have seen it all coming. It is to change demographics. It is to change demographics, period. And so, ditto for other communities. The governor has gone ahead to change the nomenclature of our chiefdoms. Like you have Adara chiefdom, say no, you cannot have a chiefdom that bears the name of an ethnic group. It has to bear the name of a town. And so, like we have Atiap chiefdom, he said no, it cannot be Atiap. Atiap is Kataf in the local dialect. That it has to bear the name of a town, so it has to be the Agwam of a town in that place, not of Zangon Kataf. Now, what we are seeing that is playing out is that there is a gradual process of these invasions of our communities and government implementation of policies that are anti-people to grab land and give it to the same people that are doing the invasions. Because these invaders invade, kill, maim, chase away, and take over. And there is no effort to return the people back to their land.
Honorable Jonathan, where are these invaders coming from?
The invaders?
Yes.
Well, let me just take you back to the statements that the president said some times ago in 2016, if you recall. He said that these killer herdsmen are coming from Libya and other neighboring countries. Then our governor, Governor El-Rufai, said the killer herdsmen are coming from Guinea and other neighboring West African countries. He named about 16 countries. And he said that those killer herdsmen have been coming to kill the people in southern Kaduna. But he has been able to trace them. He said it openly, to trace them, and that it is allowed in the religion of Islam that when somebody is committed to some criminal activities and he has a reason to do it, if you find a reason, you can settle him. So he traced them and he paid them so that they will stop killing the people. But the question that begs for answer now is, since that time, he claimed he paid them. He never told us how much he paid them. But they have not stopped killing. Instead, the killings have stepped up. So we are right to conclude that they collected that money and buy more weapons to kill the people.
Well, that is your own deduction. But there's something also said, the governor has said, that these killers are not Nigerians. They are from outside.
When he said they are not Nigerians, I thought personally that, yes, they may not be Nigerians, but with recent events, let me tell you something. On the 10th of, no, on the, yes, 20th of May, a community called Gonarogo came under heavy attack, where in one night 17 people were killed. Mostly it's always women and children who cannot run, and the old people, because the invasions always come early in the morning, very early morning hours, or in the deep night. And the invasions continued the very next day to neighboring communities of Doka, Guarana, and so on. Then it stopped for some time. Then on the 18th, it started on the 12th, all the way to 16th. Then on the 18th, the invasions continued on a different flank of the local government, where over 16 communities were displaced. Now, the president of the Adara Development Association made a press statement announcing that there were further invasions, but he was threatened that he was not telling the truth.
Threatened by who?
By the police and the authorities in Kaduna.
Yeah, Honorable Jonathan, if I look at how we are spinning the non-action by different authorities, the state governor has not done anything. The police has not done anything. Let me even include on my own the immigration, because these people are alleged to be coming from outside. You are trying to establish a theory that the people of Southern Kaduna, there's a conspiracy against them.
There is.
By who?
There is a conspiracy by the authorities in the state.
To what purpose?
To what purpose? To take over their lands. The governor himself has come up with a bill that seeks to completely deny that there is nothing like indigenship. There is only something like residency. Now, but that is even against the Constitution. The Constitution has agreed that there is an indigene. That is why every state, you come from a state, the ministers of the Federation today, every state has one minister coming or one minister at least coming from that state. And so you must be an indigene of that state. So it cannot only be Kaduna that the governor will come and now say that there is no indigent. We have always been indigents of Kaduna State.
Honorable Jonathan, are your people being intolerant and unaccommodating?
That is very laughable. When I hear people, somebody say that we are intolerant, and again, it is the governor that has, I saw him on Channels Television the other day, he said that the people of Southern Kaduna are intolerant to the extent that they don't want visitors in their midst. They want only people of their own religion. But like I told you earlier, our people, we have Christians. Of course, Christians are in the very extreme majority. We have Muslims amongst us. And we have
traditional worshippers.
We have traditional worshippers. So there is no how anybody in his right mind will say that a people will say they don't want any other person. Nobody can be an island. So that narrative, to me, is a narrative to give a dog a bad name so you can hang it.
Let us start looking for solutions. Yes. Do you think that there's a way out of this crisis, and what is it?
There's a way out. The way out of this crisis, everywhere, is there should be justice for everybody. There should be fairness. There should be equity.
In the circumstance you have found yourselves, what kind of justice are you seeking?
What kind of justice? I have said it here. What kind of justice? If you are in your house, a criminal comes and he does not just chase you out. He kills your children, he kills your grandmother, he destroys your property, and he starts building, he occupies the place, he starts building in a place where there is a rule of law. That criminal should be apprehended, prosecuted, and punished for that. An effort should be made to bring you back and rehabilitate you. But where that has not taken place, then that is where I say there is no justice. And then there should be fairness. Let me tell you, in Kaduna State, from 2015 up till now, I can't say one tangible project that has been done for the people of Southern Kaduna all these years, from 2015 up till date. One completed project. What have we done? The resources are for all of us. When you win election as governor, you win that election to be governor for all. To be governor for the Christians, just like you are governor for the Muslims. To be governor for the PDP, just like you are governor for the APC and every other party. To be governor for the Shia, just like you are governor for the Sunni. To be governor for the rich, just like you are governor. So the resources you come every month to collect in Abuja here, those resources, by the constitutional provisions, are for everybody.
I must wonder, Honorable Jonathan, whether other parts of Kaduna are enjoying development and Southern Kaduna is not.
I am actually representing the Southern Kaduna People's Union.
Because I read that question.
I have friends across the divide. And also I hear them complain and across the divide. I have heard that there is Kaduna urban renewal plan, and I see it every time in the papers that there is a serious construction going on in Kaduna, but I don't know. But I met my friends from across the divide, and they say they have not also seen. So I don't know what is going on.
The point I'm trying to make, therefore, it could be that government has not looked at the extended parts of the state because of paucity of resources.
Well, I wouldn't know that one, but I know that there have been governments before that time.
Okay, Honorable Jonathan, my producer is giving me a signal. There is an issue we need to address. Those displaced people in different camps, what is happening to them?
What is happening to them?
Yes.
Oh, pathetic. Nothing. It is only good spirited individuals, organizations like ours, faith-based organizations that visit them, buy mattresses, buy food, medication, And most of their children have been out of school. Nothing is being done about it.
But Kaduna State, like every other state in Nigeria, has a state emergency management agency. What is that agency doing?
Well, the state emergency management, I heard today somebody called me that they were on their way to give relief materials to one of the camps, and I said, glory be to God, if they are doing that now. But before this time, I have not seen. And let me tell you, these teeming people, displaced, they are just hanging around in neighborhoods, mostly around Kaduna suburbs. And we don't know when they will go back to their communities, because we have not seen any visible effort. And let me tell you, the story is the same. The other day I heard, my friend from Plateau told me that in one of the communities that was also displaced and the invaders took over, now the government is building a school for the children of the invaders, while those that have been displaced are out of school and begging for what to eat. That is the justice I'm talking about.
That justice. Let me put you into a narrative that makes me uncomfortable. There are some people who say really that your youths are the people stoking the crisis, that some of your youths have armed themselves to the teeth and making life impossible for non-indigenous who also want to do business in your state. That they stoke by attacking them, and that some of these things are really reprisal attacks.
There are several hundreds of non-indigenous in Kaduna State and the southern part of Kaduna State doing business there. The Igbo community is there, the Yoruba community is there, and all other communities, they are there. They are there, they can find out, anybody who wants to find out, you will be told that the most peaceful and peace-loving and accommodating and tolerant people you can find in Nigeria. I don't know where you find anyone, any community that would be, that Southern Kaduna would be second to. So that narrative, like I said earlier, is to give a dog a bad name so you can hang it. And that is what is playing out.
Okay, I take a last word because my producer has given me a signal. What is your last word, both to your people and the government?
Well, my last word to the people is that they should continue to remain law-abiding and continue to hope that things will change. That no matter how long a night is, the day will break. And to the authorities, that Southern Kaduna lives matter, that the life of everybody matters, that all about this is justice, fair play, and equity. That is what it takes to be a father for all. Is the most glorious form of leadership that anybody can have.
Thank you, Honorable Jonathan Sake, President, Southern Kaduna People's Union, for coming to the conversation.
Thank you.
Let's converse again next Sunday. My name remains Mwabu Ezechoko. Good afternoon. Well, I just hope that some of these positions are not true, but the unending killings cannot be justified under any circumstances. Let us hope that something changes sooner than later. Now, I want to thank you for investing your afternoon with us today. Please don't forget, to join us for Corruption Story, which follows immediately after this program. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and good afternoon.
My people, welcome. The program na corruption tori for where we dey shine light put for different corruption matter wherever e hide put for this country. My name na Ufuboma Eguria say, and I wan welcome una come today edition specially. Fire tada on top mountain, my people. There is big fire on the mountain. Shebi na just last week here, we carry tori of Joy Nunye, wey be former acting managing director of Niger Delta Development Commission, wey they call NDDC for short, and Minister of Niger Delta, Godswill Akpabio. We carry the tori come give una. These two public officials, they accuse themselves of different things, plus including chopping of yam, where we never to sabi as it take be, who tear another person dirty slap, and who no get NYC certificate. As they argue, they quarrel one side. One NDDC contractor balance another side, just sit down, they chop 800 million naira, where them give them to do one very important project put for the Niger Delta communities. Plenty country people gather talk say that contractor na very wicked person, sake of in day they chop blood money where is supposed to take better people life. All this one they happen. We no know say we ain't seen nothing yet, the way Oyibo they take talk. Waiting go tear eye, make blood come dey when they come out, ikuku don't happen now. We no know say the contractor we gather mind to chop reach 800 million naira, no fear, that one a small spirit for the League of the Ancestors. The one way big pass am, they to sit down, they give him encouragement. We be the senior brother of courage in case una no sabi. He give him that encouragement, make they chop the money they go. Nothing go happen, abi. My people, now the story of this very big spirit for NDDC. Now we will corruption tori for today. I beg, make you stand out with us.
This the corruption tori.
This matter starts like small fire. Officials for the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC for short, begin do payment of contract where them don't do for 2019 and 2020. But them not pay the ones where them don't do since 2015, 2016, and even 2017 join. Some of our Senate and House of Rep people begin frown faces, say no, it not supposed to be like that. Now the NDDC officials face them back, talk say many of those old contracts of those years, them no fit verify them whether they be true contract or na mago paperwork. Now so the NDDC management, where they hold grant for now, open tori talk say this so-called contract where NDDC no gree pay for so 132 projects of up to 6.4 billion naira when na National Assembly members get them they inside. Now why them come they put pressure on top NDDC, say they must to pay for those old contracts, and na corruption be that. President Muhammadu Buhari come carry order drop say make them check the matter well, the kind checking where they call audit. The reps come still the dear NDDC say if them fit, make them come out with a list of those contracts where them no fit verify, give the auditors.
It is criminal to get a job and don't execute them.
Now something where they bad when one get job you no do am. Now criminal to come take mago way put work where no day. Even a very bad thing for somebody to carry money for work where no do. E bad to when your mind come dey for waiting where no good. When you see that kind thing or that kind paper them where wuru and mago dey inside, kukuma carry them go give EFCC them or ICPC people. So as it be say them don't start work for office, then go carry all this file them go give these people where go clear eye, check all the paper them for inside file when they call forensic auditors. As them say now we keep the files, now we they keep file for them. I mean now we go give order for them to hide the file for them or to do something where no good. That one they bad though, and our law forbid that one. Me, I challenge them to show the files where the names of we lawmakers dey. Make them give them for the forensic auditors to see. Even make them go give them to Tory people them where they work for media so that our people go know what thing they do and everybody for we country go know how this thing they happen and what thing they do.
As we yarn you last week, as arguments dey inside the NDDC management for now, na so former managing director of the commission, Joy Nunye, come out with banga say, in fact, na Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, na be the chief corruption specialist for there. According by the madam, Akpabio been tried to force her make she release 10 billion naira for Christmas jollification last year. with other mago things like say make she pay some kind illegal money to some of him friends say them be contractors.
Akpabio's girlfriend supplies the diesel at NDDC. I looked at that diesel situation. I said, why don't we give the young Niger Delta boys, divide it into the 9 states for them to give? Why did he not tell Nigerians that I slapped his face in his guest house at Apo in his office?
The minister don't come out to say the madam dey lie for him head though. But this NDDC Tory come turn to serious shame for we government, reach where nobody even know whether the serious audits to check the matter well still dey happen safe. Na so National Assembly took leg enter, begin do their own probe. The probe what they want do come be like say they want off king clothes come out for him body. As minister show for there, begin they expose the big corruption spirits them where they beat drum for the small spirits to chop NDDC money.
I just told you that we have record to show that most of the contracts in NDDC are given out to members of National Assembly, but you don't know about it. It's okay.
The story of corruption will don't be like everyday life for that NDDC, not be just about crime. Now about the loss of country people where them abandon for Niger Delta as them don't destroy their community on top chopping of oil. These country people don't come hate government well over all these years of hardship. Then they see government as very wicked. But shey na the government they wicked. Or now all these big public officers for NDDC and the ministry and even the National Assembly where they okay as them they thief money from that commission. Waiting corruption for NDDC mean for country people and this country generally. We sit down yarn with expert person on top leadership and public affairs.
If money when it belong to everybody, some few people they pocket them. They bring annoyance. So now it make plenty people from Nigeria now the verse. Say how come you go to Niger Delta and road not there, good water not there, plenty things when people supposed to they benefit in not there for grant. Yet plenty money don't enter the Niger Delta. But all the plenty money when you enter the Niger Delta, so now people pocket you can't enter. There's no way when you go feel preach peace to people when you're supposed to benefit that thing. When we say the thing not they reach their hand. What do you want to explain give them? Because as the money they sweet you, now so they sweet another person. But we are just few people, they gather the money, they chop them. That kind of thing not good now. Everything when you didn't do. The children when we born today now waiting and see, now then they take learn. They go fit to say, now so society is supposed to be. Meanwhile, not be so society is supposed to be.
We still follow another country person where they very concerned talk. We can talk say we as country people not supposed let this kind thing waka pass just like that. We go forget them till another one happen again, and it no good.
It don't reach time you say you must suppose ask your constituent, your senator or your honorable member. Now the thing where we swear you, where we vote for you to go do be that. Carry placard. Of course, I no go see at the drive past now, see young men and women or old men, they do something. I go stop, waiting be the thing. Oh God, this doing that for National Assembly. You like him? The guy then go block road. I go park, carry my own placard, or I say, give me one. We say no to this act. And once out of the 200 million, with over 120 million young men, we come out to reject its totality, I think we will begin to chart a new course. Civil society is a clarion call wherever on a day. Mobilize yourself, make we come out to carry out this exercise because this country belongs to us and the time that him be now.
But waiting ordinary country people for street gets to talk about this corruption for NDDC.
Everybody they chop their own small. As Charlie Boy talk the whole society na poto we dey. And that goes to show that we don't have any head. As I'm talking to you, so it's every man to himself. If you are in Ministry of Agriculture, still as much as you want, nobody will ask you. If you are in FCC, still as much as you want, you don't give a damn. If you are in DCC, just still, all you have to do is just do small fainting. It goes to show that we don't have a head.
They say me, I don't see any truth, anything where they truth there. They are just deceiving us. I don't see any road now. Me, I apply that area every time. I don't see any good road there. So that they pocket the money they go.
This na corruption theory.
My My country people, shebi una dey see this kind sad matter. If commission wey government establish make e wipe tears comot for the face of country people wey dey see suffer head back to back o, na that same commission come dey put tears for their faces well well. Shey problem never land be that? Who go come help them now? Kai, everybody sit down dey wait for presido. This NDDC matter na im go show us whether our government true dey serious on top of this matter of to fight corruption comot for this country or not. My people, we go see o. This sad story na we corruption story for today. Abeg till we waka come again next week. We just hope say we go fit to carry another better story come wey go sweet our belle the way this one take search the belle. My name na Ufoma Eguriase. Until that time, na bye bye yo.